Welcome to Network to Land Your Dream Job. Before we get into it, I'm going to start with a quick introduction. I'm Melanie Feldman. I started my career, a little tumultuous. I graduated from college, thought I was going to be on top of the world in New York City, but instead I found myself back in Hawaii, where I'm from, on my parents' couch, trying to find jobs 5 hours a day. That was my real job, right? And I was really struggling. And we'll get into why, we'll get into all the tactics I've learned. But here it is. Finally, I landed a job at a company called Undertone. And once I figured it out, I decided I had to write a book and tell everyone how I did it. Because my friends were like, I don't know if I would have done the same thing as you. And I'm like, that is the only way. So I authored a book. And then shortly after, 4 years later, I found myself in San Francisco working at Twitter. From Twitter, I went to a small startup, which funny enough, acquired back by Twitter. And now I'm at Apple managing sports and entertainment in the App Store. I've also started a company called Going Places, which we're here to talk about today, where I help young professionals navigate their careers. Now, the one thing I want to point out, all of these companies that you see up here today, well, none of them I applied for. All of them were through referrals, and all of these jobs I've landed, I'm going to teach you how I did it. When I started coaching with Going Places to help young professionals navigate their career, I realized I needed to create a program to help this scale, to get into the hands of more college students. So that is the Get Hired course. The Get Hired course, featured on Forbes, CNBC, you name it, is everything you need to landing your dream job. The course is made up of 4 parts: foundation and discovery, organization and strategy, networking and outreach, and the close. In today's session, we're actually just going to talk about one of those pieces. We're going to talk about how hiring really works from a company perspective. All right, before we do that, let's actually start about what we learned to be true, right? What we're taught starting in high school, into college, at least for me, right? I was taught, get good grades in high school, get into a good college. All right, once you're there, get good grades, get internships, make your resume perfect, and then when you're ready for a job, find that job online that you think you're fit for and apply. Well, I'm here to tell you that there's a major missing piece to this formula, a piece that will make the difference whether you get an interview or not. And the reason there's a missing piece is because of how hiring actually works from the company perspective. So here we go. It starts off pretty simple, right? There's an open role at the company. So this hiring manager is like, I need to find someone. Everyone's doing extra work. Great. The next step is that hiring manager sends an email to either their team, the department, the entire company, and they say, hi everyone, I'm looking for a candidate. Here's the job description. Please send me your best referrals. Why do they do that? Hiring is difficult. We think landing a job is difficult. Hiring is difficult. Right? Imagine trying to find someone based on a piece of paper that you've never met and hope that they're the right position for the job, that you're going to spend 8 hours a day with them and actually be happy with your candidate. It's difficult. So they're asking their colleagues to send them referrals, send them people with a stamp of approval. Okay, so then these employees are getting this email, right? And they're looking at their email and they stop what they're doing and they start looking for candidates. Why? Why are they actually prioritizing this? Yeah, they want to bring good people, friends into the company, but there's another piece. There's this thing called an internal referral hiring bonus. Boom, 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 right? An extra $500, and I've seen $20,000 if you refer a candidate and they get hired. All right, I'm stopping what I'm doing, right? And I've stopped what I'm doing many times in my career to submit candidates. So all of a sudden, that hiring manager is getting 10, 15, maybe 20 qualified referrals on their desk. So they start interviewing, right? That hiring manager's like, I'm not gonna wait for anyone. I'm gonna start interviewing. So they interview, and here's the kicker. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month later, HR posts that job description online. All right, so let's go back to younger Mel in college who thought she had a fighting chance, right? I applied for a job online. I was behind in many of you for two reasons. The first, I had to break through the noise, right? There could be thousands, hundreds, whatever it may be, of candidates that are also applying online. My chances are less than 1% of actually breaking through and being seen and getting an interview. But all right, you're like, I don't know what she's talking about. I've gotten an interview before. Well, guess what? Even if you break through and defy all odds, you're still behind. You're behind because even if you get that interview, you're competing against people with that stamp of approval who are already farther along in the hiring process. So you may think you didn't get the job after the first interview, but chances are someone already got hired. Someone was already on their last round ahead of you that got hired. Okay, so if it's not obvious, it should be. If you want a fighting chance to get an interview and land that job, you absolutely need to be referred. Before we get into how to get a referral, I have to talk about my favorite topic, rejection. I want everyone to think for a second. When's the last time you wanted something but just didn't go for it because you were scared of getting rejected? Take a second and think about it. It could be something small, like asking someone on a date. It could be something big, like applying for a job or getting into a certain class. But really acknowledge what you're not putting yourself in a hat for, right? Because at the end of the day, if you never give yourself a shot, the answer is always going to be no. Get ready to get rejected. I hate to say it, but rejection is in everything, right? Every ounce of our life, probably from third grade to the day we die. And it doesn't happen any differently with finding a job. And at the end of the day, rejection is redirection. It's so easy to look back, right? I was in Pittsburgh, graduated from college, wanted one job, and I didn't get it. I was so sad, I'm crying on the floor, headed back to Hawaii to live with my parents. Okay, in the moment, I thought my world ended. Now I look back and I'm like, geez, if I would have gotten that job, I wouldn't even be speaking to you right now. I wouldn't have had any of the jobs that I showed you earlier. So I challenge you, when it's happening, which is difficult, say to yourself, rejection is redirection. Put one foot in front of the other. Because in this job search and what I'm gonna teach you, it's going to be a series of closed doors in your face. Most people won't respond. And if you give up too early, you'll never get that one open door. You won't be there when that door opens. It's about finding your yes. Finding a job is like dating, right? In so many ways. And here's one. You could ask 100 people out on a date. If you get 99 no's, you, my friend, have a date tonight. Getting all dressed up, you're going out, you have a date. So find your yes. Get your date. Now I want us to think back. We thought in the beginning about things we weren't putting our name in the hat for, right? Now it's time to reflect on that. Moving forward, what is one thing we will put our name in the hat for? Challenge yourself. Even if the chances are below 10% of you getting that thing, I want you to put your name in the hat. Over and over again, one of these days, you will get that thing, even if your chances are small. One step in front of the other. So close your eyes, think about it, and then say it out loud. Hold yourself accountable, right? When it's into the universe, I am going to go for, all of a sudden, you're going for it. By the end of this session, you will know how to reach out to professionals with knowledge, confidence, and tact. There's a bit of a formula when it comes to networking. Here it is. Genuine flattery plus adding value equals connection. And you're not just networking to get on an email with someone or text message. No, we got to get off from behind the screen. You're networking to get on a call, to get on a meeting, to meet in person. That's how you build relationships. That's how you build rapport. There's 3 steps to networking successfully, and each are just as important as the other. Step 1, find your people. Step 2, communicate strategically. Step 3, know your ask. We're gonna start with step 1, find your people. When it comes to finding your people, here's what it is. You could be the best message writer, right? Boom, you spend an hour on this, you do all this research, but guess what? If no one reads your message, you're not really networking. You're networking with a black hole of the universe. That may seem simple, but there are a lot of channels out there, and some people aren't on some of those channels. So you could have one company you're interested in. Let's just say Spotify. I want to find people that work at Spotify. In that company, you can use many different channels to find different people and talk to them, right? Maybe some of them are on LinkedIn. Maybe some are on Twitter. Maybe you see someone on Instagram. Maybe someone's on TikTok, right? We need to do research to figure out, where will people see me? And don't be afraid to cross communicate, right? You might send someone a LinkedIn message. Don't hear back from them a whole week. Maybe you find that person on Twitter and you tweet at them, hey, John, sent you a LinkedIn message, would love to chat. I've done that so many times, and it's always surprising to me how many people get back to me so quickly once I see them on another channel, once they actually see my message. So finding your people is important. And then we move on to actually crafting that message. What will make someone respond to me who doesn't know me? Not just respond to me, but agree to get on a call or meet with me. We gotta be strategic here. So here's how we're gonna do it. I'm about to give you 8 rules to reaching out and navigating your meeting. Number 1, leverage your alumni network or find common ground. At the end of the day, we're all humans, right? All humans wanna help people that they feel like they have something in common with. So how do we do that? We need to find something in common with the person that we're reaching out with. Tap into your alumni network, find your, maybe you're from the same hometown, maybe you have the same sports team you like. Find something, right? It always helps improve your chances of getting a response. Number 2, do not ask for anything but a little bit of their time. This is where everyone messes up. Okay, they're like, Melanie, you know what? I tried networking, it doesn't work. I'm like, let me see your message. All right, Mary, you're asking for a lot for someone that doesn't know you, right? And I'm talking, we're only asking for 20 minutes. And here it is, right? You're telling that person, I've done some research, I found you, I'm super interested in learning about you and hearing you talk. All I need is 15 minutes. All I need is 20 minutes. Number 3 and number 4. Use flattery, but be genuine, okay? And those go hand in hand, right? Everyone loves a little flattery once in a while, but we have to be genuine. So, for me, I get a lot of emails and people reach out to me. And most of those emails are, hey, Melanie, I see you work at XYZ company. I'd love to get referred. Here's the link to the job I want, and here's my resume. It's pretty common, right? Like I told you, there's internal referral hiring bonuses. They think I'm incentivized. But then once in a while, I have someone reach out and they're like, hey, Melanie, wow, I saw you wrote a book. I saw your article in Forbes. I read it. Here's what it made me think about. Can I get 15 minutes of your time to pick your brain on this? I'm a busy person. If I have 15 minutes, who do you think I'm gonna respond to? Right? I don't even think I have to tell you that. All right, so you do these things, right? And you're taking your time and you're crafting these messages and you send it out. And you don't just send it out to one person, you send it out to 50 people at a company. This method takes time. You could spend an entire week networking with one company. All right, so someone responds, right? Maybe out of 50, you get 1 response and they say, sure, Melanie, I'd love to chat. I want you to remember this. If it's not on the calendar, it's not a call. If it's not on the calendar, it's not a call. If it's not on the calendar, ingrain that in your mind, because professionals live and die off their calendar. Everything I do, whether it's personal, social, whatever it may be, it's on my calendar. So if I agree to a call and you don't send me an invite, there's no call. I've been stood up so many times and only realized this once I was a professional figuring out that, wait, I didn't send them an invite. The other thing is, when you send someone a calendar invite with all the information, the Zoom link, the meeting destination, they know you're taking their time seriously. They know you're valuing their time because you're not making them do any work, right? So it shows, it's the first step to say, hey, thank you for your time. I'm gonna do everything to get you there. All right, so Johnny at such and such company agrees to get on a call with you. Now what, right? Oh my God, I have a CEO getting on a call with me? A little bit scary. What am I supposed to do? Do your research to be prepared. Get educated, right? On what that company does, on what Johnny does, on what you want to know. Like, really think about, read blog posts, news articles, go on the company website, find this person that you're meeting with and do research on them. Know what they've put on LinkedIn, know what they've wrote about. Because if they're giving you 20 minutes of their busy schedule, you need to show them that you've done the work to get there. Once you've done that, it's time to prepare quality questions about them and about what you want to know, right? Maybe 1 or 2 questions about Johnny's past and how he's gotten to where he's gotten, like actually real questions to learn about how he's navigated his career. Then maybe a question or 2 about the company and the job. What does he actually do on a day-to-day? This is your time to get real information about that company. You're not in a formal interview, right? So Johnny's gonna tell you what you want. Like, he's gonna give you the inside scoop of what it's like to work there. That's actually how we figure out if we like this company or not. All right, so you prepared quality questions. Now shut up and listen, right? That's number 3. Shut up and listen. Let the person talk. I've had people come to me and say, Melanie, oh my God, I totally messed up my networking call. I'm like, what did you do? And they're like, I asked 1 question and they talked the entire time. Oh no, you aced your networking call. When people talk, they let off endorphins, they feel good. It's like going to therapy, but for free, right? Let the person talk. The more they talk, the better you're doing. Number 4, don't be nervous. They're only human. I say this because you're not working with Joe Schmo, bottom of the barrel, entry level, right? We're going to the very top. People think CEOs, famous people, executives, whatever it may be, don't respond. No one emails them. No one messages them. They do respond. You're more likely to get on a call with them than someone who's getting tons of emails every day from people who want to get referred. So you're going to the top and you will get people at the very top of their game who you're inspired by to get on a call with you. And that can be a little scary. If you do the first 3 things I talked about, you deserve to be there. You deserve a seat at that table, and they're excited to have you at that table. All right, so I want everyone to get in the habit of a few things as we're starting to network. Number 1, read your message before you send it, like 5 times, okay? If you get all the way to that person and they actually see it and you call them the wrong name, well, you're not doing much for yourself, right? Number 2, send that invite. We talked about it, we don't need to say it again, but sending that calendar invite is critical. The third one is thanking them for their time. We gotta thank them for their time, and that's, I say 1 hour after your call, but you can wait up until 24 hours. And you're thanking them, but going beyond that. You're not just saying, thanks, John, for your time. You're saying, this resonated with me. Oh, here's an article that I really thought about after our conversation. Really show them that you listened and you learned something. And lastly, it's about following up. I'm not talking about the thank you that you sent right after the call. I'm talking about creating this as an investment for yourself, right? You're networking not for this next job. You're networking for your career. So if you're connecting with amazing people while in college, while in your young professional life, keep these people in your life, right? We talked about it. In order to get a job, you need to get referred. So this person might not get you the job you need tomorrow. This person might get you the job way later in your career. We have to keep track of these people as an investment. So create a Google alert every 6 months, every year, reach out, add value, ask questions, get on calls, and keep track, organize yourself. This is your investment. So if you follow all of these rules, I'm telling you, 90% of the time, that person on the other side of the call, on the Zoom call, in person, is gonna say, how can I help you? They always do. And that is when we have our ask ready. Now your ask, it's not black and white, right? Your ask might be a referral. Maybe you want an internship, but maybe it's not. Maybe you want an introduction to someone else at that company. Maybe you want a mentor. Maybe you want an informal interview. You need to figure out what you want to get out of that conversation. And no matter what, we do not make people do work. So if you want a referral, we figure out everything that goes into a referral and we serve it on a silver platter. If you want an introduction, you write that introduction. All they have to do is forward that email. If you want a mentor, ask them to keep in touch. Every 6 months, over 4 years, guess what? You got a mentor. No one's gonna do work for you. And the other thing is, you're networking with a lot of people. I just don't want you networking with people in the department that you want to work in. You might be talking to Jerry in finance, and your ask is to get introduced to Jenny in marketing. So that might be the introduction, right? Networking is about building that connection, continuously leveling up and getting to where you need to be. It never ends, right? But when we think about our ask, we need to be ready, because if we have a great conversation and we don't have an ask, then you're not really doing much for yourself. All right, to bring it all back, right? When we want to network successfully, it comes down to three things. Finding your people. Where are they? Where will they see me? Communicating strategically. How can I get someone to answer my message and get on a call with me that I've never met? And knowing our ask. What do we want to get out of that conversation? What's going to be an investment for our future? All three are equally as important when we're networking. So I was a business major. I played a sport in college. The only company I wanted to work at was ESPN. Why? Because I didn't do the Get Hired course, right? I didn't do all the things I'm telling you. I just thought that's my dream job. Probably wasn't, but it doesn't matter because I was obsessed with it and I needed to get a job at ESPN. So I flew home, I'm on my couch, and I'm applying for jobs every day at ESPN. I mean, hundreds of jobs. At one point, I think I applied for a VP position, didn't even know what I was doing, right? I was applying for jobs I wasn't even qualified for. Not the point. Anyways, hundreds of jobs later, after I applied thousands of jobs, I finally said, I need to switch my techniques up, because the only thing I was getting was automated rejection responses. So I went on LinkedIn and I said, I need to get in touch with a human. That was my goal. I need to get in touch with a human who works at ESPN. So I got on the phone with the marketing manager, the only person that would agree to get on a conversation with me. And he said, Melanie, I hate to break it to you. Your resume has never been seen. We get thousands of applicants per role. The only shot of getting an interview is if you get referred. Right? What I teach now. And he said, and I'm not going to refer you. I don't even know you. You seem a bit stalkerish. You emailed me a million times. Good luck. So I got off that call and I'm like, all right, you're saying there's a shot, right? I probably just wasted 3 months of my life, but no one ever saw my resume. So I decided I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to get someone at the very top of ESPN to respond to me and refer me. So I found this guy, Neil Everett. He was a sportscaster on SportsCenter, and what I found was he lived in Hawaii for 10 years. And I'm from Hawaii, so boom, common ground, right? We had something in common. I sent him a message. I said, Dear Mr. Everett, and I poured my heart out. I said all the things I needed to say, and I was about to send the email when I realized I don't have the guy's email address. And it isn't like today where you can just go on these websites and find people's emails. He was impossible. So I put 25 versions of what his email could be. Neil.Everett and Everett, Mr. Everett, whatever you want to do, I threw it all in there. Sent the email. And then I didn't hear back. And then 30 days went by and I'm still going about my job search, and I have a missed call and voicemail on my phone. And I swear this is exactly what happened. He said, hello, Melanie, this is Neil Everett's voice calling you. Do I know you? I got an email from you, and yeah, let's talk. All right, I'm unemployed. I had one job, pick up my phone, right? Oh, well, there we go. I call him back. I get on a call, and we have this incredible conversation. I had questions. I asked about how he navigated his own career, and at the end, he said, Melanie, what can I do for you? And then I said, Neil, I need an interview at ESPN. Now, I don't teach you to say it like this, but I was absolutely desperate and I didn't know otherwise. And he said, Melanie, easy. You'll have an interview tomorrow. Sure enough, 20 minutes later, I get an email from Mary in HR. Hey, Melanie, we came across your resume for the marketing coordinator role. We think you'd be a great fit. Mary, did you see the 10,000 other resumes I submitted over the last 6 months? Were those found at all? Because what? You're telling me that is how you get a job? And this changed everything for me. Because in this moment, I realized it's all about who you know. I was the exact same person, the same degree, the same graduating school. I did everything the same, and the only difference was I knew someone. I had someone who meant something to the company refer me. And within minutes, I had an interview. I don't even know if they looked at my resume. And it didn't matter. And I needed everyone to know this. Why aren't we teaching this in high school? Why aren't we teaching this in college? If this is what it takes to land a job, it blows my mind that this isn't a required class. And I don't bring this story up just because I got an interview at ESPN. I bring this story up because my relationship didn't end there. When I hung up the phone, it didn't end there. I still continued to keep him in my life. 6 months later, a year later, I was actually writing my book and found out he had this crazy story of how he got his job at ESPN. So I emailed him again, and I called him again, and finally he picked up and said, "How do I know you again?" No, I'm kidding. Anyways, he picked up and he said, "Melanie, what can I do?" And I said, "Neil, I want you to be in my book." So after a lot of persuasion, I ended up flying to LA, and you'll see this in the photo, and interviewing him on the floor of SportsCenter for my book. And it didn't end there. I know that things like, okay, great, Mel, you got what you wanted, right? No, the other photo is 7 years later. That's me and Neil. I'm in LA for work, and I go to SportsCenter just to say hi, because now Neil calls me and he says, "Melanie, how can I do what you're doing? How can I get this to the University of Oregon? How can I speak to young people and teach them about networking and how to land a job?" So now Neil needs me, right? And that's how it works in life. We don't always think we can add value in the beginning, right? We're someone who needs something. We need a job. We need help. But if you keep someone in your life and you continue to follow up with them, things change, right? Your network is your net worth in every aspect of your life. It is so important. And with that, you can create your path to your dream job by networking the right way. And when we're thinking about our dream job, I want us to take the blinders off, right? Let's not get too far in front. I want us to think about our dream now. Get your feet wet, get experience, put in the work. Think about what gives you energy, what you're excited about. Do more of that every single year of your life and start taking away the things that drain you. And in 10 years, you will look back and say, wow, I have my dream job. Your dream job is not some name company, something that you thought you had to have, right? Your dream job is actually enjoying your life and the things that you're doing. You have permission to reach out. Put on that going places cape, be fearless, embrace rejection, and put yourself out there. I want all of you to keep in touch with me, right? Tell me your challenges, tell me what job you land, tell me what's going on. You can find me at YouGoPlaces on Instagram. Share your story, I'll share it with my community. Because this is just the beginning. Everything I'm teaching you here is what you will use for the rest of your career. And if you want more of this, check out the Get Hired course. YouAreGoingPlaces.com. You will find the course, and that has every single thing you need, from resume templates, to messaging templates, to how to navigate a call, negotiating your salary, every single thing in one program. That's what I used. That's what all my clients use. You can start it today. I'm so excited to see you there. Thank you.